काहिरा में सदर ओबामा का मुस्लिम दुनिया से खिताब।
इस बारे में अमेरिका में तलबा क्या सोचते हैं?
स्टूडेंट्स के साथ एक खुसूसी गुफ्तगू।
खबरों से आगे के स्पेशल कैंपस एडिशन में।
Hi, I'm Abbas Jaffer. I'm starting a master's at Harvard Divinity School, studying gender, sexuality, and Islam.
I'm Nilofer Siddiqui, and I just graduated from the Johns Hopkins School of Advanced International Studies with a master's in international relations.
Hi, I'm Micah Hendler. I'm a student at Yale University, and I'm studying music and international studies.
Hi, I'm Sarah Ahmed, and I'm a law student at the University of Pennsylvania.
Hi, I'm Alber. I'm a graduate student at Georgetown University, getting my master's at the School of Foreign Service and concentrating in international relations and security.
I'm Emily Best. I'm a graduate student at American University, and I'm studying environmental policy.
I'm also proud to carry with me the goodwill of the American people and a greeting of peace from Muslim communities in my country. Assalamu alaikum.
सदर ओबामा की स्पीच तो अब तक आप सब ने सुन ली होगी और स्पीच के दौरान आपने कुछ बुनियादी प्रिंसिपल्स के बारे में बहुत सुना होगा। आइए ये क्लिप देखते हैं।
I've come here to Cairo to seek a new beginning between the United States and Muslims around the world. One based on mutual interest and mutual respect. And one based upon the truth that America and Islam are not exclusive and need not be in competition. Instead, they overlap and share common principles. Principles of justice and progress, tolerance, and the dignity of all human beings.
Guys, I'm going to ask you, we just heard a bite about Obama talking about shared principles, shared a sense of peace, justice, tolerance. I want to ask you guys, to what extent do we actually have common ground between Islam and the American body politic, and what differences do we find between them? Let's start with you, Nilofer.
I mean, I think as President Obama pointed out in his speech today, the common ground, he talks about justice, and then later on he speaks about freedom of religion and women's rights and right to education. And I think he does a really good job at balancing the need for recognizing that societies and different societies construe different aspects of human rights and democracy and justice differently, but at the end of the day that they are nonetheless shared principles.
Emily, what do you think? Do you think that there's enough common ground that President Obama can work with to bring the two regions together?
Yeah, I think that fundamentally, I mean, everybody sort of wants the same thing. They want, to raise their children in a certain way, the way that they choose. They want to be able to feed their family. They want to provide some kind of education for their family. And I think what Obama was doing was reaching out to those fundamentals that everyone wants to have, is sort of the freedom to be able to, live in the way that you want. And I think that by reaching out to that and showing respect for other ways of living is a way to bring all those commonalities together.
Let me ask you, do you think is it just room for moderates to combine and talk to each other? Do you think, is there really such extreme ends on both sides that some people from both sides are completely irreconcilable?
Well, I think the president made clear that we have to let go of the extremist ideologies. And, he also made clear that the fate of both Islam and the rest of the world are intertwined. And I think that's an important point, because in a world that's globalizing, increasingly globalizing, we face transnational threats. He mentioned extremism. Muslims and Americans have both died. We face, the nuclear issue. I think all these issues we have to reconcile.
Abbas, let me, as a ending thought, do you think, we talk about broad generalities between America and the Muslim world. Do you think that's a useful way to characterize? Is the Muslim world this one big entity?
Yeah, I really have a problem with this sort of polarization and otherizing between the U.S. or the West and the Muslim world, because not only are there American Muslims, as President Obama said in his speech, but at the same time, the interchange and the interplay of culture between America and the Muslim world has been going on for centuries, ever since Morocco was the first country to recognize the U.S. So I think that while it's a sort of a rhetorical piece, it's not really useful as we go forward in trying to figure out further cooperation.
तो आपने बात सुनी हमारे पैनलिस्ट के इस बारे में कि कॉमनैलिटीज़ क्या हैं, डिफरेंसेस क्या हैं। अगले ब्रेक के बाद हम आप बताएंगे आपको ग्लोबलाइजेशन के बारे में थोड़ा और एड के बारे में कि कैसे मुस्लिम दुनिया के दिल जीते जा सकते हैं। मिलते हैं ब्रेक के बाद।
बात हुई मुस्लिम दुनिया और अमेरिका को करीब लाने की। इस सिलसिले में सदर ओबामा ने माशी तरक्की के हवाले से कुछ कहा।
No development strategy can be based only upon what comes out of the ground, nor can it be sustained while young people are out of work. On economic development, we will create a new corps of business volunteers to partner with counterparts in Muslim-majority countries. And I will host a summit on entrepreneurship this year to identify how we can deepen ties between business leaders, foundations, and social entrepreneurs in the United States and Muslim communities around the world.
So from a panel, the question is that President Obama, to seek the common ground with the Muslim world, he pressed that he will invest in the Muslim world. And the question rises here is that will this aid or investment that President Obama is talking about change the opinions of the common man in these countries for the America? Nilofer, what do you think?
I think this is a really central question. I think in the case of Pakistan, you saw over the last 8 years, there's been a lot of money that has been given to Pakistan in aid. About $10 billion is the estimate. And a lot of people in Pakistan believe that they haven't seen the money. And there's an argument made that the more people talk about money being invested in Pakistan and the less that the common person in Pakistan actually sees the money, the greater negative impact it actually has in increasing anti-Americanism, which obviously is not the point of the policy. So I think it's really central to ensure that the amount of money that's being sent is actually translating into results, whether it's symbolic, whether it's actually needs to translate. And I think President Obama's speech today is an example of a change that can be begun through rhetoric such as his.
As an outside overview, Micah, what do you think? Like, you have studied international study major, and you do study about South Asian countries. What do you think that Nilofer said is right, or?
I think it makes a lot of sense what Nilofer said. I think the most important thing with how the aid functions is to what extent it works more as the U.S. sort of giving the countries aid as more of a patronizing thing or more as working together as a partnership, which I think was a big theme of Obama's speech, that the countries should work together, or the regions more should work together rather than one dictating to the other. And in the same way, I think his comment about oil suggested that he was calling on all parties to assume responsibility to sort of rise to this new level of cooperation, that one party relying on something and the other party sticking with the same dynamics of power structure will continue the conflict that arises between them. But that if everyone takes the responsibility, then there can be mutual cooperation.
Thanks, Micah. Abbas, final thought. What do you think? Is it going to change the opinions of the common man of this country about America?
I think focusing on entrepreneurs is a really smart idea. When Obama's talking about actually getting people together, for example, in the Gulf, I've heard a figure on 40% of businesses being women-owned. So if we want to talk about economic development, improving civil society, and also addressing issues of gender rights and gender equality, public-private partnerships, and working with economic development can really stimulate that progress and that human development.
Thank you, Abbas. So, हमारे पैनल के डिस्कशन से ये बात वाज़ेह हुई कि ये इमदाद जो दी जा रही है इसका और इन्वेस्टमेंट अमेरिका जो कर रहा है मुस्लिम दुनिया में, उसका दूररस नताइज बरामद हो सकते हैं अगर इसको सही तरीके से इस्तेमाल किया जाए। और हम बात करेंगे कि इन मुस्लिम कंट्रीज़ में जहाँ ये इमदाद दी जा रही है वहाँ पे डेमोक्रेसी या डिक्टेटरशिप, इसके बारे में सारा ज़मान बात करेंगी।